morning, everybody.
You got a light.
You got a light.
You got a light. And it's shining out for everyone to see. You got a light. You got a light. And it's shining out for everyone to see. And by some kind of miracle, now I feel that light in me. You got a love. You got a love. And it's shining out for everyone to see. You got a love. You got a love. And it's shining out for everyone to see. By some kind of miracle, now I feel that love in me. You got a joy running through you now that just can't be denied. You got a spirit like a firecracker lighting up the sky. You got a power. You got a power. It's shining out for everyone to see. You got a power. You got a power. And it's shining out for everyone to see. By some kind of miracle, now I feel that power in me. You got a joy running through you now that just can't be denied. You got a spirit like a firecracker lighting up the sky. You got a power. You got the power. It's shining out for everyone to see. You got the power. Some kind of miracle, now I feel that power in me. Feel that power. Feel the power, feel it in me. Feel that power in me. Feel the power, yeah, yeah. Feel that power in me. 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 Feel that power in me.
There it is. Very good. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Hagerstown. We have a quote up there from James Baldwin for Black History Month. Those who say it can't be done usually are interrupted by others doing it. Let's do it. Let us start our service this morning by going into a prayer. Go to that center, to our heart space, knowing that there is one light that shines in us all the time. Sometimes we're not aware of it. Sometimes things are in the way. Let's now release. Take a deep breath and release. Release the tension. Release and let that light shine. Knowing we are one with God, one power, one spirit in this entire universe that guides all of us all the time. We have been resting for this winter. The earth has been resting through this winter in the northern hemisphere. We are awakening now to brightness earlier in the day. We are looking at nature reawakening, the new flowers coming out. In thanksgiving for broadening our horizons, for broadening our knowing that we are one with all. We pray for all people everywhere who are gathering together today at any time, in any place, centering in the Spirit. And we all extend this Spirit to everyone we meet, our brothers and sisters along the way. In joyous thanks, we celebrate this day. We say, thank you, God, and so it is.
And thank you, Diane. So if you'll join me in our mission statement together. Unity of Hagerstown, a welcoming community, embraces spiritual awakening through affirmative prayer and meditation, creating a positive path of abundant living for all. And now we have the reading of the daily word with Diane. I brought you down too soon.
Good morning again. The word for today is let go, let God. Holding on to what no longer serves me because it is familiar and I've grown accustomed to it may stall my growth. I evolve so much more quickly when I trust my guidance and release old patterns and behaviors. In my heart, I know that when I move away from dysfunctional relationship, a negative attitude, or unhealthy way of living, I move towards something greater. Peace, safety, harmony, freedom, fulfillment. I let go of anxiety or fear and open myself to happiness and security. I breathe in freedom. My heart becomes buoyant and my steps lighter. I set my intention today to release anything I have been fearful of letting go so that I can confidently move forward, opening to infinite good. The reading today is Matthew 18:18. Truly I say to you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Let go, let God. Join me in the affirmation on the screen. Release
my outward behaviors and embrace my bright, brilliant future.
Take a deep breath and release. And let's say it again. I bravely release my outward behaviors
and embrace my bright, brilliant future. Okay, thank you, Diane, again. And Diane is serving as our prayer chaplain today. So if you need extra one-on-one prayer support and you're comfortable with it, just meet her up here in the front after the service. Okay? And now we have another song. I invite Sally to come up and lead us in this. Ready?
Oh, yeah. We gather our hearts in the face of hatred. We gather our love in the shadow of fear. We gather our light in the hour of darkness. We gather now, we gather here. We gather now, and we gather here. Ooh. We stand on our strength in the time of danger. We lift up our song in the presence of tears. We send out our joy in the depths of sorrow. We gather now, we gather here. We gather now, and we gather here. We come together in this time and place. We come together in this kindness and with our grace. We call out for peace in the heat of anger. We step into faith in the midst of despair. We celebrate hope in the heart of sadness. We gather now and everywhere. We gather now, we gather everywhere. We come together in this this time and place, we come together in this kindness and without grace. We gather our hearts in the face of hatred. We gather our love in the shadow of fear. We gather our light in the hour of darkness. We gather now, we gather here. We gather now, and we gather here. We gather now, and we gather here.
Thank you, Sally. And now I'd like to invite Jay up with our reading from our Lenten booklet. If you haven't received that booklet yet and you're here in person, grab one on your way out. It's a fabulous way to practice, to unitize Lent, if you will. Jay?
This is called the process of letting go. We are always in the stark and beautiful movement of letting go of one thing, thought, or situation, while being set free to a more excellent, deeper, and more expansive experience of ourselves. Letting go is a learned action from a lifetime journey of self-acceptance, revealed as a process that evokes our trust in the messiness of living with some experiences of joy, sorrow, and disappointment, wrapped up in a bit of love. Letting go is a process that invites us to affirm the truth of our being and trust, the unfolding journey of being fully present in our thoughts, words, and deeds, to be inspired by the smallest of things, to overcome unforeseen challenges, and to let go of expectations that do not belong to us. We learn to trust the movement of Spirit creating the masterpiece that is you and me. From Philippians 1:6, I am confident of this, that the one who begins a good work among you will bring it to completion by the day of Jesus Christ. Please join now in the affirmation. Letting go of what was, I trust the process of becoming more than I ever imagined.
Thank you, Jay. So, we had so much fun the other week when I asked you to greet your neighbor. I thought that we should reincorporate that in our weekly service. We used to do it pre-COVID, but I understand that there may be some who do not want to be hugged, who may not want to even give a handshake. It's your personal preference. This is what you decide is right for you. So, for all of you extroverts, you big huggers out there, don't go grabbing somebody, okay? I'm talking to you. You know who I'm talking to, okay? Don't go grabbing somebody, but ask, can I give you a hug? Or would you prefer just a hello and a smile, you know? So I'm going to give you a chance to say hello, to hug, or handshake, or just say howdy, okay? So greet your neighbor, my friends. And for those of you on Facebook, please greet your neighbor via the comments in the Facebook section, or if you're watching later on in the week at YouTube, greet in the comment sections there. We love you. Okay, so this isn't coffee hour. This is just a greeting. Just a greeting, my friends. Let's come back. Let's gather back. Let's gather back. Huh? No, I'm okay. Let's gather back. It's time to move on. This is not a coffee hour. This is just a greeting. Just a greeting, my beautiful friends. Just a greeting. Time to gather back. Time to gather back. Time to gather back. Time to gather back. You don't want to be the last person that I'm talking to. Come on back now. Okay. Nope, time to gather back. You can give everybody else a hug after the service. Okay, so we may not do that again. Okay, so it's a greeting, not your life story. Okay. I know how it is, though, when you see someone you love, you want to really get caught up with them. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the love of this community and how you just support each other so well. But now for some serious business. We are beginning a new series today based on this book, The Lazarus Blueprint. The subtitle is Ancient Secrets for Healing and Inner Peace. It's written by two Unity ministers, Mary Alice and Richard Jafolla, and yes, they are married. And it's based on the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. Are you familiar with that story? So we're going to look, I mean, it's a remarkable story, but we're going to look at it a little bit differently, through a different lens, if you will, through the metaphysical lens. And by that I mean that we see each character in the story representing a part that is within us. That should be interesting, right? So to begin, we're going to read I'm going to read the entire story just to refresh our memory a little bit. And I don't want you to try to analyze it and say, oh, what is that character? What is that? I don't want you to do that. I just want you to let the story soak in. Okay? This is taken from the Gospel of John, chapter 11. And I am going to read kind of an edited version of it because there are some verses I'm leaving out else it's going to take a long time. So, okay. Now, a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and Martha. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, Lord, the one you love is sick. Now, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. And then he said to his disciples, let's go back to Judea. On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had been in the tomb already for 4 days. Now, Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come out to comfort Mary and Martha in the loss of their brother. When Mary heard that Jesus had arrived, she reached the place where he was and saw him and fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. And Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, see how he loved him. But some of them said, could not he who had opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. Take away the stone, he said. But Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, by this time there is a bad stench. He's been in there for 4 days. Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? So they took away the stone. And Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I know that you always hear me. But I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. When he had said this, Jesus called out in a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And the dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped in strips of linen and a cloth around his face. And Jesus said, unbind him and let him go. Well, that's a pretty remarkable story, isn't it? Yeah. What the Jafollas have done with this story, just as in the art world, sometimes paintings are put through an X-ray to see if there's another painting underneath it. The Jafollas actually saw that there were steps here to leading to inner peace that we all could use, to leading to healing, to wholeness that we could all use. And let's be clear that the healing we're talking about is not necessarily physical, but whatever burden that we are carrying right now, whether it's a dis-ease or a financial crisis or a relationship. There are 6 steps that we can use to relieve ourselves of this burden. The first step is very easy to say, and maybe not so easy to do. Well, I will say it takes commitment to do, and that is to turn away. After Jesus heard that the news that Lazarus was sick, he waited 2 days before heading out. Did you find yourself wondering why he would do that? Did you feel a little judgmental about that? Like, Jesus, what were you thinking? Waiting 2 days, why didn't you run? If I had heard of someone who was sick I could help, I would run there, right? Why didn't he leave right away? You know, there's a part of us that may think it was wrong that he didn't. That part that it rushes in to fix it. We all have that fix-it mode we rush into. But Jesus was clearly showing the first step in dealing with trouble. Turn away. Wait. Hit the pause button. Don't dwell on it. 2 days signifying those times when we're awake, and 2, signifying separation. We are separating ourselves from the worry, from the fear, all that anxiousness. Mary and Martha are a part within us who have hope. Hope that the condition can be relieved, that there is a way to fix it. And Lazarus is the part that is troubled, that we may need healing for. Now, of course, we hit the pause button, but if it's a medical condition, we continue, going to the doctors or whatever it is that we need to do. The pause is in our thoughts. We don't dwell on it in our thoughts. We don't climb onto the hamster wheel, right? We walk through the valley of death. We don't pitch a tent. Yeah. Okay. Oops, I forgot I did that little thing. Okay. Okay. So the Jafollas say you don't get rid of a weed by fertilizing it, and you don't get rid of a negative situation by feeding it with the energy of your fears. The more you focus on a problem, fertilizing it with negative thoughts and emotions, the stronger and more stubborn it becomes. The stronger and more stubborn it becomes, the more it takes over your life. So not only does it take over your life, its destructive roots get stronger and stronger, crowding out the more positive and uplifting thoughts that you may have had anyway. Instead, just as weeds in a garden crowd out the vegetables or the flowers that you've planted. When we get caught up in a situation, we have allowed ourselves to become prisoners of that situation. If that's what we're thinking, morning, noon, and night, we are caught up in it. Think of quicksand. The more you struggle against it, the harder it is to get out, right? And have you ever experienced a problem that just totally consumes you? You lay awake at night thinking about it. It haunts you throughout the day as well. It's kind of taken over. Truly, we are prisoners of it. I've shared here before of a time as a single mom, living paycheck to paycheck and having a stack of bills and just going through the bills like this, one after another. What can I pay? What can I pay? And I did that every day. It's not like I got paid every day, but I still was worried about it every day, going through those bills. Recently, I've been watching a show on Netflix called The Physical 100. Has anybody seen that? Okay, so this is a weakness of mine. I like competition shows. And this is a Korean show. It starts off with 100 athletes from all different backgrounds. They are looking for the most fit person in Korea. And they undergo challenges to determine that. So if you lose a challenge, you become eliminated. Well, I was watching one challenge in which there were 4 contestants left, and they all looked pretty fit, I can tell you. And the challenge was to pick up this boulder, and it wasn't, plastic. It was a real boulder, to lift it up in the air, and the person who dropped it would be eliminated until there was only 2 people holding that boulder. Well, and then finally just 1 person. But out of the 4 people, 1 couldn't even lift the boulder up. That's how heavy it was. And these were people who had survived a lot of challenges to get to that place. 3 of them lifted up that boulder and put it on their shoulders, right, to help hold it up. They steadied it with their hands. They were holding it not very long before they became drenched in sweat, their bodies shaking, but they held on 30 minutes, and then 1 person dropped their boulder. So you had 2 left holding the boulders, and they weren't looking around, I can tell you. They were just thinking about the boulder. 2 hours they held that boulder until 1 dropped, and immediately the other one dropped it, but he had already won at that point. All I could think of is how that boulder was compressing their spine down and what havoc it was taking physically on them. But you know what, my friends? This is what our burdens do to us. Not only a physical toll, mental and emotional as well. It puts us in a trance. So we don't see anything else. We don't really think of anything else with these burdens sometimes. Even a short pause can give us that break necessary to quiet our minds and to come back to ourselves, to remember who we are, this individual expression of the divine. Have you ever been working on a project and you become stuck? And you probably think, oh, maybe if I just get some fresh air, move away from it for a bit, and come back and you have clarity? This is what I'm talking about. Benjamin Franklin, I don't actually know this, but this is a story I heard. When he had become stuck on a project, he would hold a ball in his hand and take a nap. And when his body had relaxed enough that he dropped the ball, he would wake up and have the problem solved. When the mind is momentarily free from its preoccupations, it becomes quiet. If you do not disturb this quiet and stay in it, you'll find that it is permeated with a light, a love you have never known, and yet you recognize it at once as your own nature. If we're so busy managing our problems, we leave no room for God to work. The movie night on Friday night was so much fun. I hope you guys can make it the next time. But one of the movies that we watched talked about how we have hands as humans to manipulate things. And of course, that extends to our mind too, because we want to manipulate things. We want to manipulate circumstances and sometimes other people, right? If we're so busy trying to manipulate our problem, then that healing presence within cannot help us. We turn away, we pause, not as a spiritual bypass. We're not denying that the problem exists. We're not putting a smile on our face, or burying our head in the sand. We're not doing any of that. But we're giving the spirit of life and wisdom within us time to do its mighty work. We're not denying the problem exists, but we are denying its control over us. The Jafollas tell us fear crowds out peace. So when you turn away from a stressful situation, you recreate a peaceful state in your mind, and an infinite number of possibilities appear. So how do we do this? You might be thinking, yeah, this sounds good, but how do we do this? Well, Tara Brach, the Buddhist teacher, has a couple ideas on this. She suggests that in order for us to disengage and to stop striving for an answer, just stop and listen. Listen to what's the sounds are around you, or intentionally put on some music to listen to. When we are listening, we're in our body, we're in the present moment. We're not worried about the future, we're not thinking about the past. When we're in the present moment, we are embodying that moment. Listen to traffic if that's all that's around you at the moment. Listen to the birds. She also suggests to consciously disengage from activities that may inflame the problem. Other words, news. News, or maybe even social media if you have, some interesting friends. I don't know. And then the third suggestion she brought out was to slow down. Slow down our thinking, slow down our reading, our eating. When we move half as fast, we receive twice as much. Slow down so that we can come back to who we are, come back to our center, so that we can wake up out of that trance. You know, we are addicted to speed. We are. In the West, we are addicted to speed, of getting everything done ASAP, if not yesterday, right? We are addicted to it. Slowing down. By consciously doing so, it helps us to be in the present moment as well. And that is where our power is. Now, to these suggestions, which are great from Tara, I would also add prayer. The Christian Testament says, cast all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. When we cast our cares upon God, we're not doing it like casting a fishing line. We're not reeling it back, okay? We're throwing it away, giving it to God. We cast our cares. We don't grab them back. And when we pray, we go into that inner closet and shut the door. In other words, we shut the door to the distracting thoughts. We release them. We let them go. Now, those fearful, anxious thoughts, they will try to come back. But when they realize that you are not feeding them energy by buying into them, eventually they'll get the idea not to come back. It takes persistence. As I said earlier, it takes a commitment, some determination. But my friends, this is something that only you can do for yourself. No one else can do it for you. But you are not alone. You have that spirit of life and wisdom within you to help you with this. The Jafollas writes, thoughts take up space in the mind, so come up with activities and alternative ideas to take up the space, and you will be successfully turning away from the troublesome situation. Do you like to garden? Do you like to read? Find an activity that you enjoy so much so that your mind is not wandering back to your problem. Fun things. Has to be something that you love so that you can stay focused on it. And then latent energies are given the opportunity to awaken and do their mighty work without any conscious effort on your part. The Jafollas continue, when you turn away from clogging your mind with fears and negative thoughts, you are allowing these latent energies to activate and guide you in the right directions. These latent energies, we can't hear that whisper of wisdom. We can't feel that the clarity that we're seeking if our mind is cluttered up with worry. Understand and really lean into the knowing that God is with you wherever you are. We say it every Sunday, and we know it is so because God is present everywhere. So no matter where you are, God is with you. Whatever you're going through, God is with you. You know, I heard a story about a man at a doctor's office who was just getting a checkup. And he told the doctor that he needed to hurry in order to have breakfast with his wife, who was at a nursing home. His wife had Alzheimer's, and he had breakfast with her every morning, even though she didn't recognize him. And the doctor asked, well, if she doesn't recognize you, why do you still go every day? And the man answered, well, she doesn't know me, but I know who she is. When we are caught up in a problem in our daily lives, we are not recognizing who we are. And we are the beloved of God. We are this individual expression of cosmic intelligence. We are all that. We are the expression of love. There is a part of us that always knows this, that always knows that I and my Father are one. And this is represented in the story metaphysically by Jesus. That is a part within you that knows you are one with the divine. So let us move into a time of meditation, a time of quiet, so we can remember. Let's take a nice deep breath, pausing at the top of it, and then letting it go, extending that exhale, allowing the body to relax. Another nice deep breath, pause, and extend that exhale. Breathing out all of the worries, all of the concerns. And then when you're ready, another nice deep breath. Pause. And this time we release it slowly, without effort. And allow our hearts to release any concerns they may be holding. The creative intelligence deep within you knows what to do and how to do it. So we relax now. We find that inner strength to turn away from fear and simply be still. With each breath, we allow stillness to deepen. If we find thoughts coming back, let us refocus to our heart space. Acknowledge the thought, that's a thought about lunch, and come back to your heart. It could be helpful to imagine you're sitting by a stream or a river, and you see your thoughts floating by. You just let them float on by. I release and I let go. Any anxiety, any worry. In the stillness, I experience the presence of wisdom. In the stillness, I experience love. In the stillness, I remember who I am. And as we continue to sit for a few minutes and gently redirect your thoughts as needed to the truth of your being, the love and light that you are, in the silence. Here, in this moment, is the breath. Here is the life. Here is God. And as we continue to sit restfully, Sally will be leading us in another chant. if you will join me in our affirmation. Together, I say yes to the divine ideas manifesting in my life now. I say yes to my highest good. I say yes to this thing called life. And together for our offertory prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, for the abundance in my life.
I'm so grateful, so very grateful for the blessings in my life. I'm so grateful, so very grateful. I am feeling so blessed. I'm so grateful, so very grateful for the blessings in my life. I'm so grateful, so very grateful. I am feeling so blessed. And as I'm giving, I am receiving, and I'm feeling the love that is. And love is everything, I'm one with everything. I am feeling so blessed. I'm so grateful, so very grateful for the blessings in my life. I'm so grateful, so very grateful. I am feeling so blessed. I'm so grateful, so very grateful for the blessings in my life. I'm so grateful, so very grateful. I am feeling so blessed. I am feeling so blessed. I am feeling so blessed.
Amen. Yes, thank you, Sally. So we do have a few announcements. Not too many. Our sound bath is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. And all of these are listed on the handout for our upcoming events for March. If you haven't received that, please do so. On the 10th, we have Patty leading us in a singing meditation workshop and concert. Those are her words, okay? So it's going to be a little bit of everything. And she wanted to be with us today, but she is feeling under the weather. So thank you for stepping up, Sally. Really appreciate it. It makes all the difference in the world when someone's up there leading the songs. So, and then that's going to be 2 Sundays from now. One of my favorite days, chili cook-off and pie bake-off. So get your recipes dusted out, make your best chili or your best pie. There is a $10 charge to sample all the pies and sample all the chilies. And there are prizes for the best. It's very competitive around here for a bunch of, peace, love, and understanding folks, okay? And then on the 15th, which is a Wednesday, we have our Remembrance Gathering once more that Ann Baker will be facilitating. And on the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, Dinner and a Movie returns. We're going to have cream of potato and leek soup, Irish soda bread, and a few other things, tossed salad and something else. Dessert. We can't not have dessert. So if that sounds good to you, just be sure to RSVP so we know how much to cook. Our soup kitchen is happening next Tuesday. And I'm going to go ahead and pass around this sign-up sheet. I'm going to pass it on this side to begin with. If you'd like to contribute by bringing in some food, I encourage you to do so. Or if you'd like to serve at the soup kitchen, it's downtown Hagerstown from about 4:30 to about 6:45. And it's kind of wonderful to be there and help out. So all the food that you've signed up for needs to be here next week or at my place on Monday. I'm not waiting till Tuesday. We got to get the food in. And then our ongoing yoga class, 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, and Today began the discussion on the Lazarus blueprint. If you like the sermon from today and you'd like to get the book to read along with it and dive into it a little bit deeper, I encourage you to do so. We'll be covering chapter 2 next week. You can find it on Amazon, or it's been out for a while, so you could probably get a used copy if you want. It may not be at our library, but that was a joke. No. Okay, so at this time we're going to say goodbye to our beloved Facebook friends. And if you want to, especially those up here, just stand up or wave, because the camera's giving us a wide angle right now. Hello! Okay.